Hi, welcome to this session on Python programming for data science. I'm grateful for all your likes and subscriptions. Please do not relent, for learning takes time. Today's class, we'll be looking at loops in Python. And what is a loop in Python? Basically, a loop in Python is a way of telling Python to repeat a block of code till a condition is met. Liken this to when you click the loop button in your music player, what happens when the music finishes playing, it starts again. So it's the same scenario here that happens. Just that here we specify conditions um, that that gets to be fulfilled before the loop stops. In Python, we have two types of loops. We have the for loops and we have the while loops, and we'll be starting with the for loops. So we use for loops to iterate over a sequence like a list, string, or range. And the concept is something like this: for every item in this list, for do some or repeat this same thing that you've done for every item in this list. So if you're going to print the first item, print the second one, print the third one till all the items in the list is exhausted. Okay. So the first example here is we are asked to loop and print through a list of colors. So the first thing we have to do here is to create list of colors. So I'm having list underscore call. All right. I'm going to choose some colors randomly as usual. So I'm having red, I'm having green, right? That's double E there. I'm having black, I'm having white, right? Okay, so this makes my list. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loop through this list and print them one after the other. And I'm going to use for loops. So I'm having four, each color in list underscore call. Okay, so print each color. So it's saying for each of these colors here, print them one after the other. So if you're going to print the first one, print the second one, likewise the third one, and lastly the fourth one. So when I press Control and Enter, you see that Python prints all the items in this list. So it repeats the action of printing. The printing statement is repeated 4 times. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to loop through characters in a string. So I'm going to say my char. So for my character, so that should be equal to, so let's use elephant here, PHANT. Yep. So for each char in my char, okay, instead of for okay, let's not be my character, let's say my string, then my string. So for each character in my string, okay, print each character, so each char. So what it's going to do is this: go into this string and print out all the characters inside it. Now I would want to mention something here. If you observe, I used each core. It has nothing to do with this. You can use they're just basically placeholders. You can use I, you can use A, you can use B, you can use anything. Just make sure if I'm using E here, I'm going to print I. So I can say for I in list underscore call, print I. Okay, these are just placeholder. I'm using things that will make you understand it better on. You might see in some textbooks, you might see them using alphabet for this, but I prefer using something that relates to what I'm trying to achieve. That's why I'm using each color here, each color. All right. I believe you understand what I'm trying to portray. So the next one, we are asked to loop through a range. Okay. So we are going to print all the items given in a specified range. So for each number, yeah, that should have been an underscore. Each number in range, let me give a range from 1 to 10. Remember, it's going to print, if I say 1 comma 11, it's going to print from 1 to 10. Okay, do not forget. So print each number. All right. So when I run this, I'm going to have 1 to 10. Now the next loop we have here is the while loops. So we use while loop when you want to repeat something as long as a condition is met. So in this case, you provide a condition that once Python meets this condition, the loop will continue till it fails that condition. So we are going to use an example. We are going to use while loop here to count 1 to 3 to basically 5. So I'm going to initialize my 1. I'll use 1 as my starting point. Then I'm going to say while count is less than or equal to 5, print, let's say print count 1. Okay, so what happens is this: the first while statement here, the first line of this code here, the second one in the cell actually, we check if 1 is less than or equal to 5, which is true, is going to print count. Okay, now to increase this count, I'm going to increment count using the reassignment I told you before, the assignment operator. So count plus equal to 1. So what happens is this: immediately it prints count whatever the value of this count is, which is 1. Now count will be incremented by 1, it becomes 2. It will check if 2 is less than 5, it's going to print count 2. Then it will increase it here again, 3. And the loop will keep on going till the first condition there fails. So, and it's going to fail whenever count is 6, because it's going to, after when it must have printed count 5, now the next one should be increased from 5 to 6, and at this point it will break. So let's try and hit an enter and see what the output will look like. Okay, so just the same thing I said: count 1, count 2, and it keeps on going. So let's use it to count down. So we are doing the reverse of what we have there, 10. Okay, so we're using y count. Now in this case is greater than or equal to count down from 10 to 9. Okay, so that condition is true. 10 is greater than 1. Okay, print count now. Okay, let you just print count. Then what if I want to decrease this? I'm going to use the assignment operator, but the -1 now in this case. Okay, -1, so it's going to reduce it by 1, which is 9. To check if 9 is greater than 1, the same thing repeats itself again. So let's try and see what happens here. So we have 10, it starts from 10 till 1. Okay, so this is basically how the while statement works. You provide a condition or a statement that must be true before the code goes. Once the statement is being nullified for whatever reason, the loop stops. So we are looking at loop control statements. So these are the things that we can use to control loops. So either we are trying to tell the loop to break out early. So instead of looping through, let's say, a list having 100 names, and you're searching for just one name, say Ike. So instead of Python looping through the 100 lists, you can tell Python, once you see Ike, just stop. Okay. So for the first example, we are going to use the break to stop when a condition is met. So I'm going to use for loop here. For I in range, so 1 comma 11. So we are expecting 1 to 10. So if I is equal to 5, what happens? Break. Okay. So print I is found. So look at what happens for I in range 1 to 10. So it's going to, if I is, so this loop is going to keep on going till we get I equal to 5. So it's going to print I is 1 is found, 2 is found, 3 is found, 4 is found, it's not going to print 5 because it's going to break at this point. Immediately it discovers that I is 5, the code is going to break. So let's try and see the output. So that, like I said, 1 is found, 2 is found, 3 is found, 4 is found, and the code will break. So it's not going to print the next one. So for the second example, we are going to use the while loop. So I'm going to use count is equal to 0 here. So why this is true, why true, print count is count. Okay, so print count is count. Okay, if count is equal to 5, break. Okay, then I want to increment. I don't know why this is skipping the next step. It should be here. So let me increment count. Okay, plus 1. So what happens is this: count is true, is going to print count is 0, count is 1, count is 2, count is 3. Now once count is 5, is going to break here. Okay, it's not going to print anything. It's not. So let's try and see what happens here. Okay, so that is it. So why this is true is going to do that, and we get to 5. So it's printing 5 because at this point to it, after increasing this from, say, the last one was 4 and it increased it to 5, so there's a print count is 5 here. And if count fails at this point, this is where once count is 5, which was reassigned to this place, the code is going to break. Now we are going to use this to search for an item in a list. So I have to create a list, my list here. I'm too happy here. My list is equal to, so let's say red. Let's just use colors here. Blue, yellow, yep, black, white, consistency white. So we are looking for, so for each color in my list. Okay, if color, okay, for each color print. So basically what we are trying to do, we want to look through these things to see if you're going to find to get this yellow color. So, and we want a situation when once this code gets to yellow, it will stop instead of continuing. Okay, so print color red color found. Let's see. So color comma red color or blue color found. Okay. Right. So if, oh, what are you doing there? If color, so this is each color, print each color underscore each color. Just be careful, okay? So if each color underscore call is equal to, say, red, okay? So what happens here? I want it to break, right? Okay, so what happens is this: it's going to print, it goes through this loop, print each color, that is, let's say red color found, blue color found. Let's not use red so that we can see some things here. So let's use black so that it's going to. So if any point we get black, just stop. So meaning that it's not going to print white. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so we're using that to find. So like I said before, we can have 100 names in this list, and you don't want it to, probably what it's looking for is in the index position of 5, and you don't want it to loop through the entire list. So you can use the break. Once you get what you find, stop. Okay, now the next one we have here is the continue, which skips the current iteration in a loop. Okay, now we are going to use this to skip even number. So for I in range 1 to say, or in range 1 to 10, okay, for, so if you make mistake, you see that thing will jump, so it wouldn't give that indentation there. For I in range 1 to 10, if I modulus 2 is equal to 0, so we want to skip all even numbers, print I, right? Okay, sorry, we left the continue statement there. So if I print what? I. So we can have odd number. That's what we expected now, right? Which will give us I. Yep. So if I in range 1 to 10, if I modulus 2 will give us 0 continue. So if this whenever you meet this condition, don't bother about it. Leave it. Okay. So that's what, skip it. That's what it's going to say. So at the end, we are going to have list of odd numbers here. So this is another way to, that's my spelling of odd, very odd in it. So this is another way of what print, you use what the continue statement to skip things. Okay. So it skips the condition that you've specified there. And you can also use it to skip blanks. Okay. Just like, let me give you this word here. So I have hello world Python. Okay, so for each element, or for elements, I can use for element in the list in words. Okay, so what happen if element is equal to an empty list? Yep. So we have to continue, then print out. We have to continue then and print out non-blanks. So we have non-blanks. Let's say blanks. Okay. Elements. Okay, so let's see what happens for element in words. If element is equals to blank, continue, then print non-blanks. So it's going to print hello world Python. Non-blacks, hello, non-black. Beautiful. So I'll allow you to do this one. So the next one we'll be looking at is the nested loop. So we are having a loop inside a loop. So the first example is to try to print the multiplication table using nested loop. So I'm going to write for I in range 1 comma 4. So okay, let's make it 1 comma 5 or 1 comma 6. So it's going to print now for J. So I'm having the second loop now in range 1 comma 6 as well. Okay, so I did not put this colon here. Print I multiplied by j. Okay, so I want to print a space here, and so that it will be adding space. Okay, that's the essence of this. Then to make it go to the next line, I'm having print this space. So what happens is this: for I in range 1,6, or let me just, so that it will help my explanation. So the first thing happens, it picks 1 here, then the inner loop will run all, it will exhaust all the entire inner loop. Then before it goes over to the second one, it will exhaust all the inner loops. So let me explain. So we pick 1 from here, a range from for I, from for the I. Now we pick 1 here. It jumps to this. So I'm having 1 times 1 will give me 1. The same one from the first loop, the outer loop, multiplied by 2 here will give me 2. The same one from the outer loop will multiply by 3 from the inner loop. We have 3. The same one here till 6, till 5, because this range is 1 to 5. Yeah. Now this one is exhausted. It goes back to this and pick 2. It will come back here again. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2 from here, 4. 2 times 3 from here, 6. 2 times 4 till 5, 10. It goes back again, picks 3 here, repeats the same thing. So that's why we are having this now. So that's how inner loop. So inner loop and outer loop works. The first outer loop works, then the inner loop exhausts all everything it has to go through. Then the next one from the outer loop comes, picks everything within the inner loop. Isn't that cool? So that's how it works. The next one here, we use it to compare items. So let me say I have 2 lists, list 1, list underscore I. So let's say, what would this list be now? Let's say, okay, animal, then car, consistency, double quotation mark, then plant. Okay, so that's okay. So lists underscore j equal to, I'm just naming those, say lion. Okay, master, and rice. Okay, so rice is not, is it? Let it just be there. Okay, so I want to use the nested loop to combine these two things. So I'm having 4. Oh dear, no. I can't do it. It's going to cause a mistake for animal. It's going to pick this, and pick this. Animal this, animal that, animal, nah. So I should have done this. I made a mistake here. I didn't get a nice list for this, what I want to achieve. So let's see. Okay, let's use something more big. Let's say big lion, big master car, then big rice. What is it called again? Big rice bag. So let's make this one small or medium, or then this one small. Okay, big lion, medium lion, small lion, medium master car, medium lion, medium master car. So this is how it's going to happen now for I in lists. At least you get my point. You know how this works now. Okay, then the next one for J in list underscore j. So I want to match them together. Print I comma j. Okay, so what happens is this: big lion, big master car, big rice bag. Medium lion, medium master car, medium rice bag. Small lion, small master car, small rice bag. Let's check this out. Okay, so Dix explains how the inner and outer loop works, and I believe you understand this. So we are going to the else with loop. So do this or else you use this. Okay. So for I in, let's give an example. For I in range, say 5. Okay. Why there's a mistake there. So when it skips that space there, you know that there's a mistake in your code. Okay. So print I, okay, else, print loop completed. So what is going to do? Completed without a break. So look what happens here is when it exhausts this, yeah, which is look at my spelling of range. That's cool. So when this is exhausted, what happens is jumps to this else statement and prints. So let's see what happens here. 0 1 2 4 loop completed without a break. You see? So if this happens, what else follow? Okay. So let's try another one. Count equal to 0. So we have while count is less than 3. Okay. While count is less than 3. Let your code look good. Print count. Okay. So I can increase count here. What did I do there? Increase count by 1. Okay. Then if that fails, else print, what am I typing? Print this loop is finished. That's wonderful in it. Finished. Okay. So what happens? 0, 1, 2, and you now use this loop is finished. I'll leave the third one for you, and I believe that you've enjoyed this program. And in our subsequent videos, you see more applications of loop. You can see this in functions. You can see them in list and dictionary comprehension, which will be our next video. Thank you for staying tuned, and do not forget, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly do. Thank you and stay tuned. Bye bye.